Welcome back to my channel, Star Booze.
Some of the most meaningful relationships exist in the Vatican's silent hallways, hidden from the prying eyes of the outside world. I would want to share with you today a little-known tale of friendship, commitment, and spiritual kinship. A tale that may have unanticipated emotional effects on you. Have you ever had a friend who supported you through your most difficult times? Someone who, when it seemed like there were shadows all around you, brought brightness. You may recall such a person from your own life as you hear this story. If you appreciate heartwarming and soul-nourishing stories, please take a time to like this video and subscribe to our channel. We are able to share these potent moments of human connection because of your support. The world grieved the death of a spiritual leader whose humility and compassion had touched countless lives when Pope Francis took his last breath on April 21, 2025. Many people are unaware that the guy who would shortly be chosen to succeed him was one of those who mourned his passing the most. The first American to hold the office was Pope Leo XIV, whose real name was Robert Francis Faust. Take a moment to close your eyes and visualize the Vatican's halls of worship, the gentle reverberation of footsteps on marble surfaces, the hushed prayers that drift across historic rooms. Two great men of religion developed an exceptional connection in these sacred places, one that grew away from the spotlight and media attention. Francis, who was then Cardinal Jorge Mario Bergoglio, first met Cardinal Prevost years ago, marking the beginning of their relationship. Something unique happened between them, maybe a realization of shared devotion to a church that welcomed the outcasts and spoke with empathy in a world full of problems. Their bond only grew stronger in 2013 when Francis was elected Pope. They shared ideas, worries, and prayers through handwritten letters and notes that were sent back and forth between their quarters. Francis himself promoted Paz to the College of Cardinals in September 2023, possibly anticipating that this lowly American would one day continue the cause that was so important to him. Consider how much it would mean to be selected and trusted by someone whose spiritual insight you greatly admire. Has someone you look up to ever chosen you for something special? Recall the sense of responsibility and honor that was involved. Few people realized how deeply Cardinal Prevost took his friend's suffering when Francis became ill with pneumonia in February 2025. Faust was going through something far more intimate while everyone else was waiting for medical updates, the possible loss of a friend and spiritual confidant. If you think this story is valuable, please think about liking it and following our channel. As we continue to offer tales that honor religion, hope, and human connection, your engagement means the world to us. As Pope Francis battled for his life in the JLI hospital in Rome for 38 arduous days, from February 14th to March 23rd, the faithful flocked there, lighting candles and praying for their beloved Papa. However, something remarkable occurred on March 3rd, demonstrating the strength of the relationship between these two guys. Cardinal Faust entered St. Peter's Square on that crucial day, when Francis's health was at its worst. As he looked out at the thousands of devoted people who had gathered, their features lit by flickering candlelight, the cool evening air felt good against his face. He was more than just a cardinal at that time. He had been a friend whose heart ached from music anxiety. Do you sense it? As Cardinal Prevost started to lead the rosary, a profound silence descended upon the audience. The combined breath of thousands of people praying together. His voice trembled as he spoke, expressing something that came from the bottom of his heart as much as from doctrine. With his voice echoing over the square, he added, "Let us continue to pray with Mary, Mother of the Church, for the health of the Holy Father Francis. Music, as the Mother of Holy Hope, she helps, heals, and comforts everyone who seeks her support. May she also be a source of comfort and unwavering hope for us tonight." Those weren't just formal statements. They were the request of a friend who was in dire need of heavenly help. Each prayer was filled with intense affection and personal suffering as the rosary beads moved through his fingers. Have you ever prayed for someone so sincerely that the intensity of your request made your entire existence seem to tremble? Have you ever experienced the kind of love that makes you feel completely overwhelmed? This scene was filmed by Vatican cameras, but they were unable to record Cardinal Pos's private vigils. According to Vatican insiders, he went to the hospital every day, sitting quietly by Francis's bedside, reading to him from the Bible, and occasionally just holding his hand in silence. Those deep connections that don't require words. Cardinal Prevost was the most relieved when Francis recovered and returned to the Vatican on March 23rd. For a short while, it appeared like the crisis was over. The two men went back to talking, eating together, and laughing quietly in the private, papal rooms. We would love to hear your thoughts in the comments section if our stories resonate with you. Have you ever been blessed by a buddy who supported you during a difficult or illness-plagued period? Your tales uplift our neighborhood and serve as a reminder of the wonderful relationships that keep us going. However, life occasionally only gives us brief reprieves. Even though he was well enough to return to some duties on April 21st, Pope Francis experienced a severe heart episode. The pontiff was slipping away by the time Cardinal Post got to his side. According to witnesses, Vost knelt next to his friend's bed in those last minutes, holding his hand and muttering prayers while tears fell down his cheeks. Francis gave Prevost a final blessing and passed the torch to him with his last remaining vigor. Can you picture that moment's precious intimacy? The weight of a spiritual legacy being passed on through the tender touch of a dying hand, the blend of anguish and grace. Many were shocked by how rapidly agreement was reached on Cardinal Prevost when the College of Cardinals convened to choose a new pope after Francis's death. However, those who had seen his dedication to Francis and his manifestation of the same spirit of compassion understood. Music, Cardinal Robert Francis Vost became Pope Leo XIV, the 267th and first American pope, as white smoke billowed from the chimney of the Sistine Chapel on May 1, 2025. Those who observed intently saw something poignant as he entered St. Peter's Basilica's balcony to greet the faithful for the first time in his role as pope. A tiny memento that had belonged to Francis was pinned under his new papal garments. For decades, the Argentine have carried a basic wooden cross, a personal homage to a cherished buddy that is only apparent in specific moves, but nonetheless present. We are currently halfway through our narrative. If this video is meaningful to you, please take a moment to like it and, if you haven't already, subscribe. With your help, we can share tales that honor faith and human connection with a wider audience. Francis's leadership style is similar to Pope Leo XIV's in many aspects, according to some Vatican watchers. His appeals for environmental stewardship, his emphasis on mercy, and his care for the underprivileged. However, these go beyond simple policy extensions. They serve as a living reminder of a friendship that molded a man's character. When considered through the prism of their friendship, Leo XIV's remarks in his first homily as Pope suddenly have greater significance. Even though we grieve terribly, our willingness to continue spreading the light they brought into the world is a greater testimonial to the people we have loved. Have you ever sensed that someone you've lost is watching over you and directing your behavior? Have you ever felt their ghost by your side while making decisions knowing what they would have desired? The private devotion that preceded them, the letters exchanged over years, the quiet discussions over humble meals. All of these things contribute to the story's force, not simply the public events, the prayers in St. Peter's Square, or the succession to the Pope. The common desire for a church that would compassionately accept all of God's children. According to people close to both men, Francis frequently sought the Cardinal Prevost's advice on both doctrinal and personal issues while he was Pope. 2. People dressed in black and red would stroll together around the Vatican gardens, engaged in profound discourse that periodically broke out in laughing that reverberated off the old walls. He reminds me that the Church's strength lies not in its pronouncements, but in its ability to listen with the heart. Francis is supposed to have stated of Prevost at one point, "Everything I understand about servant leadership, I learned watching Francis wash the feet of prisoners and embrace the disfigured," said Prevost, who is currently Pope Leo XIII. He taught by the constant example of his music life rather than through words. Isn't that a sign of a genuine friendship? Not merely consensus, but the deep development of one another's understanding of what really counts. Pope Leo XIV made an impromptu early morning visit to the crypt beneath St. Peter's, where Francis is buried, this past week as he commemorated his first month as Pope. According to Vatican employees, he and his pal spoke in silence for more than an hour. His eyes had a crimson tint when he came out, but his face exuded calm resolution. He revealed a brand new worldwide project that afternoon that emphasized interfaith communication and preservation of creation, two topics that were particularly close to Francis's heart. He stated that we pay tribute to our predecessors by continuing the work they started, not just by erecting monuments. If this tale resonates with you, please share your opinions in the comments section. Have you ever preserved a significant item in remembrance of a loved one? Your stories enhance our neighborhood and serve as a lovely reminder of the ways in which we are bonded through time. This connection between popes may be particularly poignant because it serves as a reminder of the fundamental reality that even people in the most illustrious and ancient positions in the world are fundamentally human and capable of the same intense bonds that enhance our lives. That there are hearts that understand joy, sorrow, anxiety, and love hidden behind the formal titles and ceremonial robes. Those who pay close attention may see that Pope Leo XIV occasionally pauses, looks up at the sky, and grins slightly, as if he is having a private conversation with an invisible friend while leading prayers from the same balcony where he used to stand next to Francis. Isn't there something we can all learn from this? About how friendships have the ability to mold our souls, concerning how our loved ones continue to mentor us even after they have passed away, about how preserving their most treasured ideals in our own life is the best gift we can give to the people we have lost. Perhaps you could pause and consider the friends who have had a significant influence on your own path while you consider the tale of Pope Francis and Pope Leo XIV, the people who have supported you at your most difficult times, the people whose knowledge still serves as a guide to you even when they are not physically there. Perhaps there is something lovely about recognizing our sacred interdependence, the ways in which people whose lives intersect with ours shape and reshape us in a society that frequently praises independence. The papacy of Pope Leo XIV is still in its early stages. How Pope will guide the Catholic Church worldwide through the upcoming difficulties will only become clear with time. However, one thing appears to be definite. Along with the official power of his position, he carries with him the enduring memory of a friendship that transcended titles and changed people's hearts. Please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and share it with someone who might find it relevant if you have appreciated this narrative. That's our last request. With your help, we can keep telling tales that honor human connection, faith, and hope. True friendship is one of God's most precious gifts, a glimpse of divine love made tangible in human form, Pope Leo XIV personally stated during a recent audience on Wednesday. The most potent approach to illustrate the validity of those comments is to look at his connection with Pope Francis. Which particular companion has God put in your life? Who has supported you during your happy and sad moments? Who has contributed to your development as a person? Maybe now would be the ideal time to get in touch with them, thank them, or remember them by giving them the things they gave you. I appreciate you listening to this story with me. May you be blessed with the gift of devoted friendship and have the humility to see it for what it is. Till the next time.